right, so that was the same thing as question 1. So let me look at, that was question 6. So this here is question 7 now. We might have to end this video slightly earlier just because I did pick a repeat. That's probably my fault, but I might be able to pick another one depending on the time here. So it says here, find the solutions of the quadratic equation 9x squared equals 4. So we have, it's telling us to find the solutions here, right? So in order for us to do that, again, what we have to do with every quadratic equation is we have to put everything to one side, right? We want one side to equal 0. So I'm going to have 9x squared. I'm going to move 4 to the left side here, to the side here. I'm going to subtract 4 from both sides. So I get 9x squared minus 4 equals 0. Now, in order for us to kind of solve the solution here, what we can do is we can actually do a difference of squares again, right? I have two terms. I have a difference here. This here is a classic example of difference of squares. There are many ways to approach this problem, but difference of squares will probably be the most quickest way for us to solve for our solution here. You could plug this in a quadratic formula and you get the same answer here, but in this case, I would do a difference of squares. So in order for us to do that, you can think of an imaginary square root on both these guys, right? So this one here and this one here. So if I were to square root both of them here, I'm going to have 3x for my first term, and then if I square root 4, I'm going to simply get 2 here, right? So if I were to write this out, I would get basically 9x squared minus 4 equals, basically, I would have something, a term plus something, and then a term minus something here, right? So again, if I square root the first term here, I have 3x, which means this here is 3x, and then plus square root of 4 here is simply just 2, right? Plus 2 and plus 2 here. So I've found out my factors here, and this here equals 0 as well, right? So I have 3x plus 2 and 3x minus 2. And what I can do is I can then now solve for, I can split this up into 2 parts and solve for my 2 roots, right? So I have 3x plus 2 equals 0, and then 3x minus 2 equals 0, right? Let me write this down here. And then I have 3x minus 2 equals 0. So I'm solving for my first one here. This is x1, you can say. So I'm going to move 2 back to this side here. So I have 3x equals negative 2. And if I divide both sides by 3, I would get negative 2 over 3. Here is my first solution. And then 3x minus 2 out of 3x, I'm going to move 2 to the other side here, which becomes positive 2. Divide both sides by 3, I would get 2/3 here. So x would equal basically plus or minus 2 over 3 will be my correct answer here. So this here, again, they got the same solution here. This solution here is correct. Again, they did something like, they just took the square root of both sides, I believe, which is the exact same thing as the difference of squares. Totally fine. And they got, yeah, so they put 4 over to the other side. So they did basically, instead of doing difference of squares, they looked at it as, they just solved for it algebraically. So I'm going to show you what they did here. So they have 9x squared equals 4. What they did was they moved 9 to the other side. So if x squared equals 4 over 9, and simply just square rooted both sides here, which would equal 2 over 3, plus or minus 2 over 3. So this solution, again, actually this is probably even a faster solution than what I did here, but I solved for it based on difference of squares. They visualized it as algebra. It totally is fine. Honestly, both ways work as long as you get the same answer here. So this is plus or minus 2 over 3. So this here is a great solution and analysis here. So both ways work as well when solving quadratic equations, right? We can solve by factoring, solve by algebra, solve by inspection, quadratic formula. All of these are basically tools for us to solve for a quadratic equation here. So the solution here is correct. So let's see what my next